In the heart of Imo State, tucked beneath the dense whispering palms and surrounded by the echoing cries of the forest, lies the remote kindred of Umuokwe. A village suspended between tradition and change, Umuokwe was known for one peculiar thing, a sacred masquerade known as Udu Mụọ, the spirit's voice. This wasn't an ordinary masquerade of festivity or dance. Namba Udu Mụọ was feared and revered as the divine judge of all wrongdoings, the one whose appearance could bring truth to light or death to the guilty. For generations, Umuokwe relied on Udu Mụọ not just as a cultural symbol, but as the ultimate detector of crime and evil. No thief, no murderer, no adulterer could hide from its gaze. Or so the people believed. Among the sons of Umuokwe were two boys, born of different parents, but bonded by something deeper than blood. Obinna, the elder by 4 years, had a quiet strength about him. And then there was Chisom, the curious, quick-witted boy, who idolized Obinna and shadowed him everywhere. From childhood through youth, their friendship blossomed into something remarkable. Two hearts beating in unison, unwavering in loyalty and love. When they both turned of age, they left Umuokwe for Lagos to start a new life in the city. They delved into trade, starting small, with buying and selling of electronics in Alaba. Though life in Lagos was brutal and sometimes unkind, they remained each other's compass. Obinna was the protector, Chisom the dreamer. Together they made enough to survive and a little more to send home. Years passed and the boys turned men. Their names no longer whispered, but spoken with admiration back home. In Lagos, they shared a small apartment, cooked together, quarreled like brothers, and often laughed their worries away. Through the grind and grime of city life, they kept their bond unbroken. One dry December, the air thick with dust and expectation, they decided to return home for the New Yam Festival. Umuokwe came alive with color and music. The drums beat like hearts in love, and the laughter of the villagers danced with the wind. For Obinna and Chisom, it was a reunion with everything they'd left behind. Family, friends, the scent of native soups, and the unhurried rhythm of home. But the festival was barely over when tragedy struck. In the dead of night, a sacred statue from the ancestral shrine, an artifact said to protect the kindred, was stolen. The entire village was shaken. It wasn't just a theft, it was sacrilege, an insult to their gods, a disruption of the spiritual balance that protected their land. Panic spread like wildfire, fingers pointed blindly, fear settled in stomachs. That morning the elders convened, and the verdict was unanimous. Called Udu Mụọ, the masquerade, which hadn't been summoned in 5 years, was to re-emerge. Obinna and Chisom watched from the crowd as the ritual began. Drums throbbed, women covered their faces, children clung to their mothers. Smoke rose from the center of the village square as the sacred mask was lowered onto the bearer. The Udu Mụọ stepped into the light, an imposing figure with feathers, shells, and red chalk. Its presence was thick, otherworldly. When it danced, the earth beneath seemed to tremble. The elders chanted, the villagers watched. The masquerade began to move, slow at first, then in circles, then sharply stopping before different villagers. Each step was thought to be guided by the spirits. Then suddenly it pointed directly at Chisom. The gas that followed could have split the skies. Mothers wailed. Chisom's legs buckled beneath him. He fell, shaking his head, screaming, "No, I didn't do anything. I swear on my father's grave." The elders exchanged looks. The masquerade had spoken. To question it was to question the gods. But Obinna stepped forward, not with rage, not with fear, but with a calm so profound it silenced the entire gathering. I lived with him, Obinna said. I shared a room with him, ate with him, worked with him. I know this man more than I know myself. If this masquerade says he did it, then this masquerade lies. The village roared in disbelief. One of the elders, blinded by tradition, spat, "So you stand against Udu Mụọ, you blaspheme," but Obinna didn't flinch. If it means saving a man from dying for what he doesn't know, then yes. A cold wind blew through the square. For the first time, the community wavered. Could the masquerade be wrong? Could it be manipulated? That question, though whispered, changed everything. The oldest elder, Pa Ik, raised a hand. He was the last living man who witnessed the first Udu Mụọ in his childhood. "Enough!" he croaked. "This is no longer justice. It is doubt. If a man will die, let us be sure." For the first time in their history, Umuokwe decided to go beyond Udu Mụọ. It wasn't easy. Investigations were alien to the community. But with Obinna's push and Chisom's freedom on the line, they searched, they asked, they listened. The village youths, some of whom had returned from school and cities, stepped in. And what they found shook Umuokwe to its roots. A young man named Ekene, recently returned from Onitsha, had a growing debt from baiting. He'd stolen the statue and planned to sell it to a collector through an illegal market chain. When Udu Mụọ was summoned, he panicked. Knowing that he might be found out, he bribed the masquerade's bearer, an orphan boy desperate for money. It worked. The boy, trembling and paid, pointed to Chisom to shift suspicion. When the truth came out, the village stood in stunned silence. Ekene was caught, and the statue retrieved before it crossed the border. Then came the real reckoning. If Udu Mụọ could lie, if it could be bought, then what else had it lied about? How many innocent people had suffered beneath its feathers and drums? That evening, the elders gathered once more. And though it broke many hearts, they made a decision that would redefine their history. Udu Mụọ was abolished. The masquerade costume was burned in a sacred fire. The shrine was closed. A new era began. From that day, the people of Umuokwe vowed to seek truth with eyes open, not through fear, but through understanding, reason, and community. Obinna and Chisom returned to Lagos months later. Their bond, once tested, now strengthened like iron forged in fire. They had not just survived a lie, they had changed the truth of an entire kindred. And in the quiet corners of Umuokwe, the drums no longer beat in fear. They beat in freedom.